This small dog, whose unwavering loyalty led him to wait on a busy bridge for 2 long months, hoping his owner would return. But the one he loved never came back. Instead, he faced storms, hunger, and the dangers of a bustling roadway, waiting, hoping and longing for a reunion that would never come. Why was he abandoned? And what finally became of this heartbroken pup?
For 60 days, this little dog stood vigil on a viaduct, a place where danger was a constant companion. With every passing car, he would lift his head, searching for the one face he so desperately wanted to see. But day after day, no one came. The dog's eyes, once filled with hope and anticipation, slowly grew distant and tired, yet he remained steadfast, refusing to leave the spot where he was last with his owner. The people in the neighborhood began to notice this lonely figure. They saw him standing in the rain, huddling in the cold, and retreating to the shadows when anyone tried to approach. Despite his obvious suffering, he never ventured far from that bridge. It was as if he had made a vow to wait, no matter how long it took, no matter how much it hurt. He was waiting for someone who had already forgotten him.
Why would someone abandon a dog that only knew how to love? This question haunted those who passed by and saw the dog's forlorn figure day after day. They tried to help, offering food, kind words, even a gentle touch. But the dog was too scared, too heartbroken to accept. He would back away, his eyes filled with a deep, haunting sadness. It was clear that this dog had been deeply betrayed, and now he didn't know who to trust. People began to wonder, what had this little dog done to deserve such a fate? Had he been a bad dog? Was he simply a burden? Or was there some other, darker reason? Whatever the reason, it was clear that the dog had been abandoned, left to fend for himself in a world that suddenly seemed so big and so cruel. But despite everything, the dog remained loyal. He continued to wait day after day, night after night, through the blistering sun and the pouring rain. His loyalty was unshakable, even in the face of such heartless abandonment. And that loyalty, though it went unnoticed by the one he waited for, touched the hearts of those who saw him every day. Finally, after 2 months of watching this little dog suffer, someone decided they couldn't stand by any longer. This kind-hearted person, moved by the dog's unwavering loyalty, made a decision that would change both their lives forever. They would take the dog home, offer him a new start, and try to heal the wounds that had been inflicted on his tender heart. But bringing the dog home was only the first step. The dog was terrified, his trust shattered. For days, he refused to eat or drink. He wouldn't lift his head, wouldn't look at his new owner, wouldn't even acknowledge the kindness being offered to him. It was as if his heart was still on that bridge, still waiting, still hoping for the impossible. His new owner tried everything, different kinds of food, gentle coaxing, even bringing him outside to see if the fresh air would help. But nothing seemed to work. The dog was lost in his own world of pain and confusion. He didn't understand why he had been abandoned, and he didn't know how to move forward. Healing doesn't happen overnight. Just like a flower that slowly blooms after a harsh winter, this little dog began to open up, bit by bit. It started with a small wag of the tail, a tiny gesture that said more than words ever could. Then one day, he hesitantly approached his new owner, his steps slow and unsure, but full of potential. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Over time, the dog began to trust again. He started to eat, first just a nibble here and there, and then with more confidence as the days went by. His eyes, once clouded with fear and sadness, began to shine a little brighter. He allowed himself to be touched, to be loved, to be cared for. It was as if he was learning, slowly but surely, that not all humans would abandon him, that not everyone would break his heart. There were setbacks, of course, moments when the dog would retreat into himself, moments when the memories of that bridge and the person he had waited for would resurface, causing him to tremble with fear. But his new owner was patient, understanding that healing would take time. And with each passing day, the bond between them grew stronger. As the dog settled into his new home, he began to show his true nature, loyal, loving, and eager to please. He followed his new owner everywhere, always by their side, as if to say, "I won't leave you, even if you leave me." He learned to trust, to love, and to be happy again.